Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Kraken Packs video. I am your host, MrBevers. Welcome back to Eldritch Moon. This is box number 3 of our case. We're going to get into things here, but don't forget to also check out my store, nerdvanastore.ca, as well as my Patreon, where you can get discount codes to the nerdvanastore.ca purchases, as well as other tiers, which would get you bundles or things like that, that I'll open right here on this channel. And then I'll ship you whatever you want out of the box. Thanks so much for watching, and let's get right into it. I also have a special giveaway that I'm going to be doing at 250 follows, which is one of these guys right here. I've got a sealed pre-release set of Battle of Zendikar. So we got a lot of Magic product that we're going to give away and things like that, so, you know, stick with it. If you have friends who are big Magic friends, let them know. We're just going to do quick. We got a foil in the first pack. Foil Waxing Moon. Let's see if the focus is going to work here. There's a foil Waxing Moon. You can't really see the foil in my camera. At least not on this card anyway. It's actually a really weird foiling on this card. It's like not foil, but foil. It's really weird. Our first flip card is a Curious Homunculus, and our first rare is actually a mythic. It's Mind's Dilation. Let's see if it focuses. Come on, there you go. It's an interesting little card. I don't know if it'll see a lot of play just because of how much it costs, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know, right? You never know. Start the box off with a mythic. I don't know whether that's a good sign or a bad sign. Actually, I heard yesterday. Since we've managed to pull a mythic in our first pack, we can do this. Yesterday, someone was mentioning that there's some sort of rumor going around that in these Eldritch Moon packs, maybe there was a misprinting in the run or something like that. But all of your mythics will show up in packs with this same cover on them, on the pack. So if you have, so we open that mythic in a pack with Liliana on the front. That means all of our Liliana packs will have mythics. Not all of the Liliana packs will have mythics, but our mythics will all be in packs with Liliana on the front, I should say. So that's an interesting theory that we can test. This pack that we opened had the Hound on it, so, or the Werewolf, I should say. So it's not going to be a mythic, according to that rule, right? So there's a Tameo emblem. It's always nice to see the Planeswalker emblems as your token. An Eldritch Evolution. It's not a bad little... Let's see if we can get the focus going here. There we go. It's not a bad little card. Not a bad little card at all. I see it garnering some play in Modern. Just because it's 3 mana, go and get something a little bit bigger than your previous card. It turns on sack mechanics, things like that. A Smoldering Werewolf. And a Sanctifier of Souls. Brr, 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 brr. Not the best. Get out of here, thing. I could see him being alright in Limited, but I don't think he'll see any play outside of that. The Sanctifier, that is. The Graph Rats. It turns into one of these big old flip cards that they're doing this time with the Meld. And we got a Spirit of the Hunt. Let's see if we can get it to... There it is. So 3/3 for 3, flash. When it enters the battlefield, each other creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +0/+3 until end of turn. It's an interesting little guy. I could see him being pretty good in draft as well. Flash creatures are always good to have, right? Always good to have. Ovenwald Observer. Scavengers. Okay, so this is the first copy of this I have. So that's a Deploy the Gatewatch. Second Mythic. Let's see if we can get the focus. Come on. There we go. It's a little bright, eh? You know what? What if I do that? How's that? That's better, eh? Look at that. You can actually see the cards now. My goodness. Can actually read that text finally. Okay, so look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put up the 2 Planeswalker cards from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Or random order, I should say. I mean, Super Friends? Super Friends is a deck that a lot of people like. Was that a Liliana pack? That's a good question. That pack was indeed a Liliana pack. So, 2 Mythics, both in Liliana art. We're 2 for 2. Okay, so we got an additional rare in this pack. It's a flip. This is a guy that I'm specifically looking for my wizard deck. I now have 3 copies, I believe. I don't know if I'll run 3. I might only run 2. So he's good, and I'll put him to the side just because I know that I'm going to want to put him in my deck. I don't know if I'm going to want a 3rd copy, but we'll see. Oh, we got an Elder Deep Fiend. This guy's really good, too. My buddy played this against me in the pre-release that he got, and it wrecked me up really bad. And I was like, oh my goodness, like getting a 5/6 with flash for 3 to 4 mana is already insane. Oh, what's that? You also tap down 4 of my permanents? Okay, I guess that's fine. I guess. Okay, so we got a Liliana pack here. Let's see what this guy does. There it is. Another Liliana pack, another Mythic. Nahiri's Wrath. That's 3 Mythics. We're not even a third of the way through the box yet. It always concerns me when things like that happen because it means that the rest of these packs are going to be super uneventful. But, hey, you never know, right? What is this? We got another hound here. No, only 1 foil so far, though, which is interesting. Assembled Alphas as our rare in that pack. Interesting little guy. Another Liliana pack here. Let's see if we can get another Mythic out of this pack. Okay, so we got a foil in this pack. Cemetery Recruitment. A Kessig Prowler. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's another Liliana pack that had another Mythic in it. And in fact, this Liliana pack had a Liliana in it. Holy moly. Come on, focus. Focus up, yo. There it is. Liliana the Last Hope. 3 mana Planeswalker with 3 loyalty. +1. Up to 1 target creature gets -2, -1 until end of your next turn. Sorry, until your next turn. -2. Put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. -7. You get an emblem which, at the beginning of your up end step, put X 2/2 zombies onto the battlefield, where X is the number of zombies you control. Sorry, is 2 plus the number of zombies you control. Okay, crazy. So we're already up to 4 Mythics. We're not even a third of the way through the box. When this sort of thing happens, I go, I really think about just cutting my losses at this point and just being like, well, I'll just take this 2/3 of this box and I'll just sell the packs, or I'll just run a local draft myself with my friends and see how it goes, right? Because I mean, can you really ask for more mythics, right? And I totally just wang that up there. This is another Liliana pack, I think. So, a Shrill Howler, a Bedlam Reveler. Okay, so this is a guy that, when I first saw him yesterday, I was like kind of questioning. I was like, I don't know how I feel about him. I didn't realize he had prowess. And I didn't realize that when he enters the battlefield, you discard your hand and draw 3 cards, which is pretty good for late game red burn decks. Like, it's just crazy. Being able to pay like 2 or 3 mana, maybe 4 mana on turn 5 or 6 in a red burn deck, discard like the lands or some cards that you don't want, get 3 new cards so that you can continue to burn if you've sort of, you know, faltered a little bit in your burn plan. Not a bad card. Not a bad card at all. Oh, we've got a foil in this pack. And it's a foil Thalia, so that's our rare. Our foil rare for this pack. Not bad. I mean, Thalia, okay, so because I bought the boxes from a store, I get to buy the box card as well. And the promo is this one, so I now have 7 copies of this in foil, which is pretty crazy. I definitely won't complain about it. She's like, what, like a $6 or $7 card normal. So in foils, she's got to be a little more. Wow, that was a really solid pack. Okay, so a foil Thalia in with a Spell Queller. Probably the highest priced rare in the set right now. And just very, very good. Like, when I opened this up yesterday, when I didn't really I hadn't looked at the prices at all. I saw this guy and I went, wow, he looks really good. Like, just being able to get a 2/3 flying body on the table at instant speed is great. Okay, cool. I'm done. Wait, what? There's more? Oh, okay, well... Oh, he exiles a spell with converted mana cost 4 or less? So that's pretty sweet. Okay, so he's a counter spell that's also a 2/3... Wow, okay, sure. Sure. I'll take it. I'll take it. He also, I've heard a lot of talk that Spirits is becoming something that people are trying to do in Modern, which is something that, you know, the Modern crowd has wanted for a while, from what I hear. I myself don't really play Modern, so I don't follow it too closely, but... Okay, so we got an additional rare here. We got the Hanweir Garrison. It's the one that gives you 2/1/1 humans when you attack with it. So you basically get 4 power, 5 toughness swinging when you attack with it. And it flips into this gigantic land thing with the land if you have the land in play. So, and then if this land attacks, you get 2 3/2s tapped and attacking when it swings. So he's not bad. Not a bad little extra rare for our deck there. And we got a Crypt Breaker. A nice little zombie pickup. I was saying the other day, I think this guy's going to see some play for sure, just because he's a 1-drop, 1/1 zombie. And I feel like zombies are going to make an appearance personally, but that's just me. Let's keep motoring along here. Collective Effort as our rare there. Just they did all the collectives for all the colors, I believe it was, yes. So, you know, the white one's pretty good just because it allows you to tap creatures to pay the escalate cost, which is nice. Escalate's a new ability that they've introduced in this set, where if you pay the escalate cost, it allows you to basically entwine the spell. And if you don't know what entwine is something that allowed you to do multiple options on the card. So an Identity Thief. I'm going to try this card out. This is an uncommon that's showing up. Emrakul's Influence. Let's see if we can get the focus here. So I have an Eldrazi deck that I play with just on kitchen table, and this is definitely something I'm interested in. Drawing 2 cards whenever I cast an Eldrazi with 7 or more is definitely something that deck wants to be doing. So I'll definitely give that a check out in that deck and see if it works out for me. But we'll see. Again, it's just kitchen table Magic, so it's nothing. It's not competitive by any means. Summary Dismissal is not a bad card. Because of power creep. Exile all other spells and counter all abilities. So the interesting thing about that card is that it counters everything off the stack. So if they've cast something that does something when they cast it, if you counter it with this, it removes all the abilities off the stack as well. So for instance, if they cast like an Emrakul or an Ulamog, and those things that do stuff as soon as they're cast, it removes that stuff off the stack so it doesn't happen. Which is kind of neat. Emrakul's Evangel, just a kind of little rinky-dink guy. You're definitely right, Crazy Sevens. Magic is a place where you can spend a lot of money on things that may not be relevant in a very short time. Permeating Mass, a card that I thought was, when I read it the first time, I went, I don't want to see this card ever. I don't want to see this card in any game ever. It's a card that just turns everything into little turds. Turns everything on the table into little turds. Now, if we look here, the rule that was brought to our attention yesterday was that every mythic we open will be in the same card art pack. And we haven't had any Liliana packs in the middle row. And Liliana is where we opened all 4 of those mythics in the first row. So that might explain why the first row is so heavy with mythics and the second row has 0. A new Scraff Mob. Nothing too exciting there. A 5/5 that comes into play and does some things that are alright, I guess. Makes zombie tokens. 6 cost 5/5 that makes a 2/2 whenever someone casts a spell. So, he gets smaller and eventually dies, but just poops out little 2/2s, which is not terrible, I guess, but also is kind of, not great. Huron's Grace Champion. I think he's a nice little, high-end for, the white-green human deck. He seems good to me. Giving all of your humans +1/+1 and lifelink for a turn is a thing, and this guy has flash, so you can definitely use it as a combat trick. You can play him at the end of, a phase if you really need to. Then you lose it on the lifelink, but it's not that bad. Another new Scraff Mob. Nothing amazing there. It's kind of actually disappointing to see 2 of those, but The first 2 boxes we opened yesterday were 6 mythics apiece, which is pretty crazy. Okay, so we got an additional flip in this pack, and it's finally a Bruna. We finally got there. We finally found a Bruna to go along with our Gisellas that we opened yesterday. So, Bruna, she's not that exciting. She's a 5/7 flying vigilance by herself, which is not terrible for 7, but it's also not amazing. You'd rather have Gisela on the board than Bruna, because Gisella's only a 4-cost 4/3 flying lifelink first strike, which is pretty crazy. So the 2 of them flip together to meld into a flying first strike vigilance lifelink 9/10, and your opponents can't cast spells with converted mana cost 3 or less. So they can't cast anything low end on their side, which is funny. So that was an additional flip in that pack? Yeah. Okay, and we got a Harmless Offering. So Harmless Offering's not a bad card. It's the card that everyone was like, oh my god, I can't believe they reprinted something like this. This is great. I'm so glad. I wanna use it and do things in a funny manner to mess with people. And the problem is that right now there's not really anything that it works with except for a Demonic Pact. I think it's Demonic Pact. Which is, is a thing. It is a thing, but it's not, and still no mythics out of these packs. Okay, so we got a foil in this pack, a fourth foil. And it's the foil of the land that I was talking about that I'm interested in testing out, which is if a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard a card, you may reveal that card and put it on top of your library instead, which is kind of interesting. Seems like an interesting mechanic. Okay, so we got a Distended Mindbender in that pack. A nice little black Eldrazi guy with a merge. So he's an 8 cost, I believe. Let's see if we can get the focus. Come on. Come on, focus. There we go. Okay. So when you cast him, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose from it a non-land card with converted mana cost 3 or less, or 4 or greater. It's not bad. Not bad little guy there. So we haven't had any more Liliana packs, which means we haven't had any more mythics, which still falls in line with the theory of all your mythics end up in the same art as the front of the pack. And if that's the case, there's a really weird thing that you can do with these boxes then, isn't there? Because you can now, like, a store could technically crack a box open, crack packs from that box until they find the mythics, then only crack the packs of that art, right? And then put the rest of those packs from that box for sale, right? So that way now they know that no one's going to get mythics out of those packs, which is, like, not a cool thing to do at all to your community. But, I mean, I'm sure that there are stores out there that would do that sort of thing, which is very disheartening to think about that. But so Stormkirk Occultist, I don't have this guy yet. This is a new one for me. So he's a 3/2 for 3 with trample. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. And he has madness for 2, so you can play him for 2 at instant speed instead of having to pay 3 for him on your own turn, provided you have a way to discard. So, now, here's a Liliana pack, so there could be a mythic in there. Let's just take a look here. We'll put all our Liliana packs on the bottom, and we'll do all of the other packs first. Now, here's another thing that's interesting, if you notice. This row contained only Tamiyo and only Liliana. Like, so, Tamiyo and Liliana packs, that's it. That's all it had in it. The middle row only had Tamiyo and the werewolf. Well, no. So I'm not saying that they would open the packs and reseal them, Crazy Sevens. What I'm saying is they could find the packs that have the art of the... Okay, so the sort of the rule of thumb is, so far we've opened 4 mythics. The mythics we've opened have all been in packs that have Liliana on the front. Okay? If this rule is actually something that's in that case, they could open, 3 or... they just basically start opening packs, right? Until they find the pack that has the mythic in it, and they check the art on the front, and then from the rest of that box, they only open the packs that have that art on the front of the pack. Okay? So now they're opening up a couple rares and the mythics from the box, according to this rule, right? Okay? Well, yeah, so, and that was back in the day, are you Wizards? I don't know if it's still kicking around. Yeah, I don't know if those formulas still work with the newer sets, but definitely with the older sets, there was a lot of things like that going around. They called it mapping, right? people would map the booster packs and the starter decks and all that kind of stuff, right? The one that was most notorious for it was like the revised starter sets and stuff like that, because right, exactly, Crazy Sevens. So they would map stuff, and then they would take out the dual lands, because they would know which ones had the dual lands, and then they would just sell the other starter decks, which sucks, because then no one else would get starter decks. So we got a second foil rare in this box, which is, let's see if we can get it to focus here. Come here. Huh? Oh. You there? There you go. Close enough. So it's a Stitcher's Graft. Foil Stitcher's Graft. You know, I mean, you can never complain about a second foil rare in a box, right? And we got another Stormkirk Occultist out of that pack. It's interesting. It's always interesting when you go back-to-back packs and get the same rare. We got a Lupin prototype. In other words, Robot Wolf. Robot Wolf. Okay, so we got an additional flip in this pack, but it's a rare, so that's good. It's the Hanwar Battlements. Let's see if we can focus. Focus. This is the card that flips with the Hanweir Garrison. It turns into this big thing here. There it is. Big old flip card. It's interesting to see them in action. I don't know if anyone's watched any coverage where they've seen it actually happen. Well, yeah, and exactly, right? Are you wizards? And that's the problem, right? Is like as soon as something like that, as soon as like a formula for mapping the packs and stuff comes out, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. So we got a Wharf Infiltrator. Right, let's see if we can get him to focus here. There he is. This guy's cool. I really like this guy. I really like this guy. 1/1 with Skulk. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Whenever you discard a card, you can pay 2 and get a 3/2 out of it. So you can discard your lands and make them into 3/2s if you're stuck on lands. You know, like if you're just flooded. That's really cool. If you have the Madness set up, which hopefully you do at this point, you know, then you can just get right in and get 2 creatures for the price of 1, basically, which is pretty cool. And then draw another card. It's not bad. It's not bad. So we got an Imprisoned in the Moon. Nice little pickup. Oh, jeez. My camera is not of the highest quality, which is unfortunate. I really need to look into that situation. So we got our flip card. Okay, so this is another rare that I haven't seen yet out of the 2 boxes I've opened already, which is a Splendid Reclamation, by the looks of things, which says, focus, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Which is not bad. It's an interesting little card. We'll see if it sees any play in Modern and stuff. There's a lot of decks, like the land decks, that That's really crazy, Are You Wizards? Yeah, I've never done it myself. I've never tried to map a box. I haven't bothered. It's just not For me, at least, it doesn't seem like it's in the spirit of the game and collecting and that kind of stuff. And it's not that I couldn't do it; I could definitely do it. It's just I just don't really feel like it's worth it. Coke's from the Blind Eternities in that pack. Hello, Jad. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Okay, we're into our Liliana packs now. So if we're going to get another Mythic, it's going to be in these packs. Hello, Freakstyle. There's a rumor going around that these packs are all of your Mythics come from the same card art on the front of the pack. Okay, so we opened our first 4 Mythics in the first third of the box, and they were all Liliana art. So we're testing the theory. We've moved all of our Liliana packs to the bottom. We're going to see if we can get another Mythic. No, you didn't join at the end. You joined in the middle. I've still got another box to do. So we got a Sigarda's Aid. It's a nice little equipment enchantment. Let's see if we can get the focus going. Focus! Okay, so it's Sigarda's Aid. Costs 1. Oh, come on, where's the focus? You may cast aura and equipment spells as though they had flash. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach it to target creature you control. Pretty amazing. 1 cost enchantment. Seems good. Seems good to me. We got a Soul Separator. Got 4 packs left here. See if we can get a 5th Mythic out of this box. We'll see. Doesn't normally happen. 4 is about average. The 2 that we opened yesterday were both 6 apiece, which is crazy. We got a foil Ingenious Scab. Ooh. Little zombie horror guy. An Eternal Scourge. This guy's cool. I like this guy. So he's a 3-cost Eldrazi that whenever you can cast him from exile. Let's see if it can focus here. And there he is. You may cast him from exile. If he becomes the target of spell or ability, you exile him instead. But then you can cast him again for 3. So he basically just sits on the table for 3 mana. Forever and ever. A foil derp! You know it. Yeah, I mean, listen, and that's fine, are you? Is it because at least you were doing that for fun, and you were doing it with your friend, right? We got another foil derp, a Gnarlwood Dryad. And we got a Bloodhall Priest. Two packs left. Only 2 packs left. Yeah, the Eternal Scourge is pretty awesome. I like him as well. Being able to basically just keep him around forever in exile seems pretty good. Okay, so we got an Oath of Liliana out of that pack. Seeing a lot of play right now, actually, in the Star City Games Open. It's not a bad little card. Especially with the decks that play a lot of Planeswalkers, which there are quite a few of those. Our last Liliana pack, we still only have 4 Mythics. Let's see if we can get another Mythic out of here. Nope. Collective Defiance. So only 4 Mythics in that box, but still not terrible. Not terrible. Not a terrible pull. I mean, we got a Liliana, finally. I didn't have one yet, so I'm glad that I picked one up. We got 2 foil rares out of the pack, which was a Thalia and a Stitcher's Graft, which is, you know, you can't complain about that. And I mean, we got Eldritch Evolution, we got the Elder Deep Fiend, we got the Spell Queller. These are all pretty decently priced rares. I didn't have a Deploy the Gatewatch yet, so I'm glad I picked that up finally. And that's it for this box. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. I've been your host, MrBevers. Stay tuned for my next box, which you should see sometime soon. If you haven't checked out one of my other videos, you should check them out at the end here. There'll be some links to some other videos here at the end. And as always, guys, may your pulls ever be better. Thanks for watching.